And there we have it. This entire job lot here cost me £1,800. And what is it? It is the remains of a professional tool shop. They cleared out all the last bits when they were closing down the shop. They boxed it all up and it went in somebody's roof down in Leicester. Now I saw one listing on Facebook for Tough Built scrapers, and I love Tough Built. I know you guys love Tough Built. And I messaged the guy and he said he's got some other bits. Turns out I ended up with a van load of clearance stuff. I'm hoping for some exciting stuff. I spent £1,800 total on all of this, so I hope it was worth the drive. So without further ado, let's get into it and see what I've got. But before I dig into the tools and see what we've got, I wanted to tell you about Top Notch Tools. That is my brand new tool website for all of the quirky, interesting tools I find around the world that aren't available in the UK. Top Notch Tools is me bringing those tools to the UK market. We've got 2 brands on there already. Rapid Tools from Canada that do serrated blades, which last 50 times longer. They can cut through much tougher materials. They've got a whole range of Quirky knives with serrated blades, and Magnum Tools from Finland. They've got the compact tape measures and the easy grip pliers, which are like self-adjusting pliers, and we've got loads of other brands in the works coming to Top Notch Tools. A highlight for me is definitely the Rapid Edge serrated blades. I've got the quick change Rapid Edge knife here. This is what I'll be opening all the boxes with. It's become a trusted favorite of mine in my pouch pocket, and it's got a whole load of blades in the handle as well. And if you want one, you can get it at topnotchtools.co.uk. Right, let's get into the tools. Right, let's get straight into it, and I think I'll start right in the middle because this box is actually stuffed so full it's bursting open, and I can see Milwaukee in this box. Now, the guy told me basically the remnants of each brand they throw in a box, so I think they are bundled loosely by brand. So in here, straight out the gate, we've got some all-day net gaiters. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are pretty chunky, sat on the top. I don't think I've seen these before in the UK. These are like the really heavy-duty knee protectors with a big old gel pad in them. I'll look these up actually. I don't think I've seen these in the UK. Fortunately, it's got a product code on it. So Milwaukee 4873. $50 in the States they are. But how much are they worth when they're in the UK? That's the question. Next in the box, you can hear the little clinking. We've got some mugs, and they're pretty smart then. Look at that. It's a big old chunky mug this, like bigger than your typical mug. And also I thought it was printed, but actually it's like, I don't know, maybe laser engraved. It's cut through the enamel into the mug, and it's got LXG on the bottom. And there's quite a few of these. 1, 2, there's one with a chip in it. Hopefully they're not all chipped. And they've got a logo on both sides as well, which is pretty cool. I think we've got flipping lucky there.
You're a lucky guy.
I can only see 1 damage, and they've just been chucked in this box. Maybe they weren't chucked, because that's 8 mugs, only 1 of them has got a chip in it. That is pretty good. And there's still loads of stuff in here. We've got a couple of nail pullers. I've got one of those in the wall behind me, although you can't see it. It's covered in box. Oh, no, you can just about see it there. So 1, 2, 3 of those. That's flipping quality, that is. I reckon that's about 10, 15 quid. That's a nice thing. Electrician scissors, that's pretty high. I think that's about 15, 20 quid as well. That's pretty cool. We've got 2 speed squares. I've actually got that exact same one. That's the 7-inch, 180mm rafter square. But then look at that one. That's pretty nice. The rafter squares by Milwaukee are made in the US. A couple of their tools made in the USA, and the speed squares are one of them. I've got the same size one, but by Hulterforce, and it's one of my favourite tools, to be fair. It just fits in a pouch in your pants pocket really nicely, and that is the same size, but that's pretty nice. We've got 2 Knipex little, I don't know if they're like belt plier holders. There's 2 one of them's in the bag. It just says belt pouch empty. Bit of Knipex. Hopefully we'll see a lot more Knipex. He did say there was some Knipex in this stuff. So we've got 2 Knipex pouches. I don't know what foam that's for, but that's pretty cool. We've got a Surly soap. I've seen a box with Surly soap written on it. So there's only one of those. I'm guessing that's come out of one of the other boxes. And then we've got loads of other little bits and bobs. So what else have we got? We've got, these are pretty cool. 3-pack of 1/4 inch, 3/8 and a half inch socket adapter. 2 of those, some AF nut drivers, so some Imperial nut dryer set, 4 of those, 5 of those, 2 of those, 3 of those, and then some wood bit, 7mm, 6mm, 5mm wood drill bit. I think they're like screw gun, long 1/4 inch PH2 bits. That's random, isn't it? Chisel tip. You can tell it's just the last few bits of Milwaukee he had in the shop probably before he closed down. That is a 10mm router bit. I bet they're not too cheap, to be honest. Milwaukee router bit. Router bit's usually quite pricey. So that is my first box of Milwaukee, and what I'm going to be doing, because every time I've done a pallet unload, I have made an absolute mess of my whole place, and it's been a nightmare. So I picked up a load of these really useful boxes, and my plan is to, as I go through, oh, hopefully I've not chipped that one. As I go through, I'm going to decant everything into these totes, and that way I can stack them up. They're easier to move around, and I'm not just going crazy cluttering up the workshop, and I can get a price list together of how much all this stuff's gonna be worth. But that is a flipping good box out of the gate. I'm well pleased with that. First box done. On to the second one. Lucky dip, what should we go for next? I might go for these Surly soaps actually quickly, just so I can put them in a box. I've got one already, so let's see what else we've got. It does look pretty good, this Surly soap. I've had a quick look at that one, and essentially it's got like an abrasive pad on one side built into the soap bar, and then like a little nail gauge on the back as well, like a nail scrubber. The soap that works as hard as you. I looked that up. They're about 4 or 5 quid for one of those, so pretty good old thing. And then we've got literally a new box of them. So that one's a box of mild, that one says medium, 2 boxes of mild, that one's not sealed, and then there's a box that says aggressive and a box of medium. That's another box done. That one's sealed, sealed, sealed. That one's open. So in each one I've got 6. Pretty good then for a £5 each. So that, again, that's like 30 quid's worth of stuff in a box. So I've got 2 mild, 1 medium, 1 aggressive, and an extra one there. And then in this one's been opened. That is not Surly soaps. That is some Knipex. Happy days. Right, stick them there. I'm going to keep going through this. This is what I was hoping for. I knew he said it was mixed tools. He doesn't have a great deal of any items, but he did say there was some good Knipex in here. Brand new as well. They're all just stock. So got some long nose, snipe nose or long nose pliers, some extra long ones. Got some end nippers. They're really long as well, 280mm. That's a quirky pair of grips. Usually they have, like, for a normal round pair of pliers, you'll have plastic teeth on this, but maybe if it's for filters that you're replacing, going in the bin, you get a pair of them on it, or for tubes and pipes. Pretty cool. More end nippers, a different size. That is Knipex 975113. It looks like an RJ45, like Ethernet crimping tool. Better they go for a few quid. I'm going to make a bit of a mission of it. I'm going to go through item by item, not on my phone, because it'll take too long, but I'm going to price these up. Another pair of end nips. I can see my favourite Knipex tools in here. They're VDE insulated. I've got a drawer of that stuff behind me. And this is where, like, I started getting into quality tools through Knipex. You know, rather than buying a cheap set, buying one item for like 30, 40 quid, and then it lasts you a lifetime. But I've got some of their really old stuff, which is not chrome plated. And some of mine are getting a bit tired. They're my snips. That's a brand new pair I've just got out of the box. And there's loads more in here. Got a pair of bullnose VDEs, another pair of long nose snipe pliers, another pair of, this is like an uninsulated pair of snips. Plastic. I think these are for like super high voltage. When this isn't safe enough, you use a pair of these and they're full plastic. I think they're quite expensive, to be fair. And we've got another pair of snips. These are like high leverage when they're this shape. And another pair of high leverage ones, but they're like shorter. Pair of long nose. We've got like a full set of stuff here. Long nose and a long bent nose. That wasn't Surly soap. That is flipping awesome. Right, so I need a tote for that now. This is what I was hoping. I paid 1,800 quid, and I feel like if there's more of this, I will be very, very flipping pleased. That is amazing. Right, so that is a second box of amazing tools. And before I get into the rest of it, let me tell you about this video's sponsor, Whatnot. Now, Whatnot is an amazing new auction platform, and I am going to be on the platform on Monday, auctioning tools from £1. I've got loads of stuff, over 120 items, weird German tools, tough built, ox tools, some amazing stuff, all starting at £1 on Monday at 8 PM. You're not going to want to miss it. How am I going to do that? Well, it's going to be on your phone on a live streaming app called Whatnot. They've sponsored this video to help make this happen and to allow me to start all of the tools so cheap, which is pretty exciting. They've also offered us a £10 voucher for everybody who joins the account. So head over to Whatnot, set yourself up an account, you'll get a £10 voucher, which you can spend on tools from me on Monday. And it's not just this Monday, we're going to be doing it every Monday for the next 4 weeks. I'm going to have some amazing stuff. Loads of tools, you can see big power tools, small hand tools. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be running loads of giveaways at the same time. And we've got shipping all over the world, so it doesn't matter where you are, you don't have to miss out. And this auction isn't just for the UK, you can get involved wherever you are in the world. And if you do order and win something from abroad, we are going to include an extra little gift with every order from overseas. Head over to Whatnot, set yourself up an account. We'll put a QR code on screen for you to scan and a link in the description. And if you don't manage to spend your £10 on tools, well, you can spend that voucher anywhere on the platform. And it's not just tools on Whatnot. It's all sorts of collectibles, Pokemon cards, coins, Amazon return pallets. It's a pretty cool platform I've been using for the last year myself, buying stuff and getting some amazing deals. The thrill of the auction is pretty much unmatched. So join me on Whatnot on Monday. Don't miss our live stream. It's going to be pretty amazing. I'll be talking on there and answering questions as well, so it's not just the auction. Should be a good bit of fun. Make sure you don't miss out. And the most important thing to do if you want to enter the giveaway for this video is drop your Whatnot handle below this comment. Let me know that you've joined, let me know your username, and let me know what you want to spend your £10 on, or maybe you've already spent it. Let me know what you picked up. So make sure you get onto Whatnot, use our referral code and get yourself £10 credit to spend on anything, to be fair, on Whatnot, but hopefully you spend it on some of these tools, which are all going to auction on Whatnot starting from £1. It's exciting stuff, nearly as exciting as opening these boxes. And based on pot luck and a lottery, I think I'm going to go for this one. So next box on the list. Let's have a look what we've got in here. So in here I can see a Makita looking back at me. Look at that, that is flipping awesome. Oh, this is gonna be some exciting stuff. So that is a piece, I can see two as well. So we've got a 60-piece Impact XPS bit set, and that is some modern stuff. I don't think that has been out too long. 90 times longer drill bits. That is a really good quality bit set, that is. Also, a bit of Bosch in here, so it's not just Makita, that's a Bosch Pro torpedo level. I've actually got that exact same one in our Bosch Pro video. Go and check it out up here if you want to go and watch our Bosch panel. We've also got a few other bits from Makita, so a 22-piece keyring bit set. See another one of those, two of those. A few drill bits, these are like long drill bits here. 1, 2, 3, PH2, and then that is like a magnifier for the end of a drill bit. Flexible 1/4-inch extension, mystery box of something. That is flipping awesome. Makita 1/4-inch bit keyring. These are getting quite popular, but I've not seen a Makita one before. That is a totally new Makita tool on me, that they've done their own 1/4-inch bit holder. So if you don't know what that is, here's a 1/4-inch bit here. And a standard bit just clips in there, and then you can have it on your keys or have it on your belt. And then if you need it, you just pull that back, and it's just means you can put your spare bit on a loop, which is pretty cool. And that is a full box, 10 of them. It's flipping awesome. I'm gonna get them out, to be fair, because they take up less room than the box does. Joink, that's interesting. 40 volt this is, a 40 volt battery USB adapter in like an olive colour. Definitely random, that, isn't it? I didn't think we got any of these Quirky calls in the UK, and you can see it's got the Japanese writing on it, so that's pretty cool. Yes, that clicks onto a 40 volt battery to give you a USB charger, and maybe it's even a torch, I'm not sure, but that's pretty nifty. An olive, 40 volt, random, and there's another one of those, two of those, and I've also got two boxed bulky bits here. Let's have a look at these.
It's bulky, but I consider it carry-on.
So that's 40 volt lantern, although I can't read Japanese, but I know a lantern when I see one, and that's in olive. That is random, that, isn't it? Sadly, I've not got any 40 volt Makita stuff. Never really looked at it, but I might have to get a battery now to test that out, because that is really flipping cool. And then here, this is 18 volt, so I do have 18 volt batteries. And it's a Japanese impact driver, and it is black. That is awesome. Made in Japan. Maybe all Makita's made in Japan, but that one there has got Japanese text on the buttons. And it's got 2 buttons. I might have to get a battery for that and have a look. I'm just trying to work out what these buttons do, and I think I may have guessed, but give me a second. Nope, I have no idea. So this button here is definitely a power mode. So as I click it, you can hear it's more controlled. It's basically the speed of it. When I press that, nothing else changes. I thought it was doing the light. I thought it was a way of keeping the light on for longer, but let me know, have you ever seen this Makita drill, and do you know what this extra button does? Because that is really cool. That is quite a nice compact impact gun, that is. And the fact you've got these extra settings on it is really cool, but it's a new one on me, that is, to be fair. Didn't think I'd be pulling out something like that. It's a wonder that that stuck around and that was left after he sold everything else in the shop. A black impactor lingered around and he couldn't shift it. So there, lost my gain. I'm flipping well pleased to see that. I'll put that back in the box, to be fair, so they stay nice and tidy. So that is another box done. Let me get a tote. And I think we can definitely have a Makita box. And I think we'll keep the Bosch to one side, just in case we find some more Bosch. Hopefully we do. I do really like the Bosch professional stuff. So there we go, a box of Makita and a box of Milwaukee. That is flipping awesome. Not to mention the big box of Knipex. On to the next one. We'll go for this one next, a bit of a smaller one. And I can see Knipex poking back at me. That's pretty cool. Automatic cable stripper. Pretty sure they are expensive. I think that's about 80, 90 quid. Another one of the little belt holders. Electrician's knife. Another electrician's knife, made in Sologen. So all Knipex tools are made in Wuppertal, but Sologen is like the next village over, and they make all the knives. That's pretty cool. That's random. Two of these. A stripping tool for fibre optics. That sounds expensive, doesn't it? I love these. These are really popular for EDC, like small little pocket tool kits. That one's open as well. A little tiny baby pair of Cobra grips. Extra small model, and then this one is a little pair of the parallel grips. Another fibre optic tool, another little pair of the parallel grips. Some stickers, pretty cool. 140 years, I think we're at 150 years now of Knipex. I might be wrong there actually. 1882, so it's 143 years. Happy days. Yeah, I thought they were at 150 years actually, but 143, not far off, so 3 years old. Another fibre optic tool. Loads of these things. I think they're like spare parts for. That one says it's a spare blade for a 902301, spare deburring tool. Another one of these, and that is another one empty. I can see a couple of the same, so that's like a spare wheel off a cutter, inox wheel. And I can see that one looks the same number, same number. That one's got 5 of a disc, looks like the same disc but different. That's the same as that one. 5, 5, 5. Pin for something, same code. Another pin. This is like a deburring tool. There's a spare deburrer head. That's something different. Deburring tool, blade, pin, 5 blades. I wonder if these are sold separately or are these like warranted. I'll search one up. Bloody hell. 5 spare discs on Amazon, 38 quid for that one. Knipex adds up. Some of these tools, I bet that fibre optic tool is expensive. Just feels like something that'd be expensive. £37.99, less than I expected. I thought that'd be more. £37.99, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them for £37.99. That is mental. 2 knives. I'm going to put that in another box. Right, we are cooking on gas now. Let's have a look. Next up, let's go for this big old heavy one. Well, there we go, that'll be some of the weight. I've got another box of Surly soaps in the top. Oh, that one's sealed as well, so that's another box of mild. And I've got another phone case sat on the top. This one is a DeWalt model. I can see a lot of DeWalt, but in the top, I'm seeing a load of these vessel bit sets. And some have fallen out of the box. There's a full box of them here. Vessel is a Japanese brand, made in Japan as well. And they're like impact bits with this ball in the middle of them. And I can see different ones here. So I've got 10-piece Z2, PH2, T40, so some Torx ones too, T30, T40, T25. I bet there was a display in the shop and then everything's just been chucked in this box because they're all different ones. T40, then slotted, PH2, PZ1, different types, PZ1, PH2, T25, slotted, 10 off, T25.
15 minutes later.
That's right, so I've got 40 of those and you can tell which ones were popular. PZ1, only one left. PZ2, there was loads of. Not really many slotted. And then they got T25, T30, T40. Pretty cool that, 40 packs of those. Pretty happy with that. Let's get back into the box. DeWalt 2 amp hour 18 volt battery. Hopefully that's not just been chucked in here as a broke. It looks pretty tidy in nice condition. And it looks like it's working. It's got one bar on the back. Let's stick it in something. Stick it in the multi-tool and just see if it comes to life. There you go, got one working battery. Pretty happy with that. Box of drill bit sets. Feels very light. Titanium nitride coated twist drills, job length. Empty. That one. Empty that one. Another one empty. I wonder if they sold those as empty containers. Another one flipping empty. That is a nightmare. That could have been so good. They're really nice little drill bit holders they are. And they're like brand new, tidy. No flipping drill bits in them. That's flipping hopeless. Another Surly soap, aggressive. And we've got some DeWalt bits. They're like a square bit, they're unusual. Like a square bit. Spade bit by Forge Masters. Some DeWalt drills. That's a pretty cool one. DeWalt 8-piece lock-in star kit. So that's like a little fold-in Torx kit from DeWalt. Loads of DeWalt drill bits. Got another bit set. Drill bits, all different sizes. Lots of imperial sizes to be fair. Another bit set, some sandpaper, 120 grit and 40 grit sandpaper, drill bit, sandpaper, they're pretty cool. 6.5 inch DeWalt long life circular saw blade and then a 7.25 inch one. They're pretty smart, brand new, I bet there's some value to them. And then not far off we've got more drill bits. You can see it's all just end stock this, isn't it? It's loose bits and bops. Anything with a DeWalt badge including an iPhone 5 case. So let's get a DeWalt tote going. Boom, that is DeWalt. And I think Vessel, to be fair, is close enough to have a box. I tell you what, this is a game changer, having totes to put things in. Every time I've done an Amazon return pallet or a B&Q pallet, I've made the whole place an absolute crazy mess. And I was determined not to have that happen again. To be fair, this is a little bit less than a pallet, so it feels a little bit more manageable in some way. But look at that, that is the dream. Now everything's nice and tidy.
Neat and tidy.
Boosh, we're over there, nice and clean. We've got loads of Surly soap. That could go in a box, but hopefully there's some more of it. Let's go for this one. Foreshadowing, I can see Surly soap poking out the top. So we've got another medium one. I've got an aggressive one, another aggressive one. More Milwaukee in this one. Milwaukee electrician scissors, so another pair of them. I'm gonna need 2 Milwaukee boxes. A pack of 50 Milwaukee blades, not 1, 2, and then an open one. And then knives, flipping knives galore. Fastback folding camo knives. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. That's a cool one. That's the folding knife, but it's the 5-in-1, so it's got the screwdriver in the back. Another one with a screwdriver. Another screwdriver one. That's a cool one. That is a fastback, but it's a hawk bill. It's a bit of a curved blade. Screwdriver one. Flipping loads of these. Screwdriver one, hawk bill one, screwdriver one. Flipping hell, this is the jackpot. That is, I can see why that was in a separate box. He had a lot of stock of knives left, didn't he? Blimey hell. That is, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's probably the best one, I would say, because it's a folding knife, but it's 5 in 1. It's got a little bit of serration on it. It's got the screwdriver which rotates, that gives you 2 screwdrivers. It's got a bottle opener built in. That's pretty smart. There's 10 of them. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Hawkbill knives. All these lifetime warranty, and then 5 of the standard folding knife, but with a camo pattern on it. Hit the flipping jackpot there. So 21 knives, and then a load of utility blades as well, and electrician scissors. So I might need another Milwaukee box at this rate. This plan is good, but it's not foolproof. There is an element of, will it fit? No, I think we're gonna have another box. 2 Milwaukee boxes. I mean, it's not a bad problem to have, let's be fair. 21 fastback knives, that is amazing. And I'll put the blades in there, to be fair, as well, so all the sharps are together. And then just put the 2 electrician scissors together. Right, so on to the next. And I can see a cool thing poking out the top here. This is one of my flipping favourite tools that I found. I think I found that in Spain. Fiskars, which is a Finnish brand. They've had some good stuff, and this is one of the better ones. I can see 2 of these, 3 of these, one that's loose, and it is a drywaller's knife. So it's got a utility blade, standard, like that, and this has got one in it. And then it's got spare blades as well, I think, yeah. So you can pop that out, and you can have spare blades stored in the handle, and change the blade. And then over here, you've got the pad saw. So we've got 3 of those. You've got a bit of Klein, a canvas zipper bag, and then there's one open here. I don't know if that's the same size. Well-cut F-style bar clamp. This is a VD insulated 1/4-inch bit driver. We've got some circular saw blades by Frood. That's a new brand on me, Frood. If you're a carpenter, you might know that brand. I don't recognize it, but it says made in Italy, which is pretty cool. An Italian-made blade. There's 4 of those. Another Klein bag. So they are the same size. One's yellow, one's blue, and that does look like the same one as that. So they're pretty cool. And there's another one there, so we've got 2 blue. Interesting to see Klein Tools in here. You don't see Klein Tools a huge amount other than CEF in the UK. Oh, this must be the American box other than those. Silverline Reach Brush. 3 paint brushes. But I can see Husky. Now you definitely don't get Husky over in the UK. You only get that in Home Depot. 100 blade heavy utility packs. Crescent. I've got this exact set that I got from Home Depot, I think it was. Flipping awesome. I hope there's more of those. Crescent Apex bit set. These are pretty cool. I don't know if they're insulated or they're just like, you can see the tip just poking out for making sure you get things flush to the surface. Sadly, it looks like it's missing the latch, but folds out much easier than the Milwaukee set. That's cool. Crescent, a couple of Crescent bits, more Crescent bits. This is Imperial nut drivers. That looks like Crescent, but it isn't. It's well-cut masonry bits, 15 masonry bits. And then we've got another, see, that looks like Crescent, and that one does say Apex Crescent. This one just says Apex. But that to me is the exact same set, and even that bit there, which is missing in this one, is there. But that one is Crescent Apex, that one's just Apex. Interesting. So there's one in a packet, one not in a packet with a broken latch, and then there's another one. And then under that was another one of those, the bit set, and that is another empty box. That is a flipping good little haul as well. Crescent. Crescent is not a brand you see a huge amount in the UK at all. I had to go to America to buy these. So the fact that they've ended up in a shop clearance in Leicester is madness, to be fair. But that's pretty good going. That is a nice little bundle. That's Crescent as well. And then anything that's just random, I'll just keep it over here to one side. If it gets too much, I am going to clear this into a tote and it'll just be the random tote. Right then, stacking them and racking them. Next up, I think we have to get one of these out of the go. I can see what's on this one. Pica. It looks like it's a full box of pens, Pica, markers and Sharpies. So that one's like less of a mystery. I'll open that in a minute. But these are pretty intriguing because they're all the same. And the one on the top is empty. We'll open this one first. And it is Vessel 31-piece bit kit. That is awesome. I'll put it on there so you can look at it. It's just nice to see unusual brands but still quality. So Vessel, made in Japan, and that is a nice little kit, that is. They're these impact rated ball bits. Nice little holder, to be fair. So you just push it there and then like a little stepped holder so you can get things in. They come out nice and easy as well. There we go. Brilliant. So in this box alone, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The magic number for this channel. But I'm hoping these boxes look very, very similar, if not the exact same. And here's open, we've got many more. You can see Vessel, they look the same. Are they the same kit? Yes, impact ball kit. That's flipping awesome. So there's 10 in that box. So if that's 10 in each box, we should have 46 to go at. Another 10. I want to check these because one of my Surly soap boxes had Knipex in it, so I don't think you can fully trust. No, that is the same. Another 10 of these, and they are all the exact same one. Another surprise box of Knipex would be appreciated, but that is no, another box. We've got 46 vessel. I tell you what, that is, I remember going through the Amazon pallets and getting 46 laptop cases and whitening creams and finger stretchers, and I can't tell you that was as good as getting 41 made in Japan 31 piece bit sets. That is the best thing so far, I have to say. We've got some amazing stuff, but that in 46 of the same thing there is literally amazing. Got a smaller tote for that. I'm trying to avoid having loads of random boxes everywhere, so I can get them organized neatly in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that is not going to fit. 46, onto the bigger box. I'm running out of boxes, never got enough. Voila. We are flying through it. We are doing well now. I am very happy. And we're not even, I don't know if we're quite halfway there. I'd say we're about halfway there, and I'm very happy with what I've got for 1,800 quid already. I think the Knipex will add up quickly. You're talking 30 to 40 pound for each item. All of the knives, they're like 15 quid. There's 21 of those. The vessels, let's have a quick search of that actually, because I think that'll be a good price, and there's 46 of them. So that is a good one to price check. On Amazon, that is £36.36. That's good. 36 times 46. We're on £1,672.56 of vessel bit holders. We're halfway through, and I think we're on to a winner. We've only got to find, well, I don't have to find anything else. Just that alone, plus, you know, the rest of this, we're well over 1,800 quid. But there's more to get into, so let's get the next box. That is a flipping beefy little box, that one. And this one has got a random assortment in it, kicking off with a Rotenberger Unispanner set with ratchet. So I think it's a 1/2 inch slimline ratchet with this piece in it for all different radiator couplings and valves and stuff like that. Pretty interesting, Rotenberger. Next up, box of Surly soaps, another mild box, sealed. Bang, and I can see some other loose ones. Got another medium one, a couple of aggressive ones. Into a 3-pack of files, and then we're into some Tough Built. I'm glad I found it. This is the thing that took me down there, and this was the item in the top of the box. It's one of my favourite Tough Built tools. It's their rotating scraper, so it's a standard utility knife, but it's got a pry bar on the end anyway, which is amazing. And then it's got this unique function, which is you press that all the way up, rotates the head, turns it into a scraper, which I just flipping love that. That's great. We've also got this one in the box. I saw this in the picture, the Reload utility knife. So I had to get mine from America, and this is basically a retractable utility knife, but with 2 cartridges, so you can have 2 types of blades. So you can have like a fixed normal blade or a hook blade, or you could have one of the new Rapid Tools serrated blades sold at topnotchtools.co.uk. You can see the knife I'm using here to open the boxes is the Rapid Edge Quick Change, and it's got one of their serrated blades in it, which can cut much heavier duty materials, and it lasts 50 times longer than a normal blade. And there's a whole range now of Rapid Edge tools on topnotchtools.co.uk, which is my website for quirky tools from around the world. So any of the tools that I've ever looked at in the different tool shops, if I can't source them in the UK, you guys usually ask me, where do you get this thing? And if I can't put you a link to Amazon or to a shop that sells it, I bring it to topnotchtools.co.uk. And that was the case with Rapid Edge, which is now available. So if you want some, head over there. Next in the box, I can see a Marksman chalk pen. I love those. We looked at those a few times. Charles Bentley, made in the UK. Gotta love it. More Tough Built. Got some more blade packs. These are 30 blade packs, and they're the ones with the little divot in, so they're for the scraper. Another rotating blade, another rotating blade. Let's make some space. Another Reload knife. Another rotating one. Another rotating one. Keep them coming. Reload 3. Reload 4. Rotator. What's that on? 6 rotating ones. Reload 1. Reload 1. I've got loads of blades in the bottom of the box. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12 of the 30 packs of blades, a couple more Marksmans, and one more pack of 3 Engineers files. So that is probably one of my favourite boxes. Not quite the most valuable, but it's got the Tough Built stuff in it, and I've got 6 of each, which is amazing. How they were left over at the end of his shop, I will never know, because that is an absolute winner. I think that should be one of the first things to be selling out. I've underestimated. I've chose the small box. Get the big box. I am glad there was a good amount of Tough Built, because there was no numbers and quantities on the listing. It was just a box that looked filled with Tough Built stuff. 6 and 6, not too bad. I could have been good if there was a bit more, but I can't complain. We're already well over 1,800 quid. When you add this Tough Built box to the pile, We are absolutely winning with stuff. This is amazing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes filled with individual brands. I've got half a box of Crescent, 2 full boxes of Milwaukee, box of Makita, Tough Built, Vessel, and all this random stuff. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes left. Let's keep going.
I gotta keep going.
This is looking like the best box by far from what I can see poking out the top. That is pretty awesome. That is a Knipex Tubix, and that is a 6 to 35mm copper cutter. So you can ratchet into position and then wind around the pipe, cut the pipe. They are not cheap, and there's a few of these, and there's also this monster version of it as well. We've got a Knipex pouch, another one of those. We've got another one of the Ethernet RJ45 connectors. Got another pair of wire strippers, but that's different than the other pair we found. Another one of these monster cutters. Another one of those, same model, 3, 4. That's another RJ45 crimper. Flipping heck, that's pretty cool. Knipex tin plate sign. That's the kind of thing I don't know if you'd even be able to find a price on that. That's like a promotional, like pressed plate embossed sign. It's pretty cool. And then in the bottom of here is absolutely, it's like a flipping treasure trove of pliers. That reminds me of Colin Furz's tool bag. That's what it looked like when Knipex sent Colin Furz a load of tools and we organised all of his spanners. That is pretty much what it looked like, hence why he needed shadow foam for it. But I can see end nippers. We had a little fraction of this earlier, and now I've got a whole host more, and there's a couple of duplicates, so they are the same. Some long nose pliers, more long ones. That's nice to see. Pair of Cobra, that's the only one I can see, but a nice big pair of Cobra grips. I don't even have a pair of Cobra grips. My Knipex are the classic alligator grips that you twist the handle to lock them in place. I've had these a long time. I've got 2 pairs. One of the very old original pairs, probably like 20 years old, but they're my 2 pairs. I have all VDE stuff, but these are pretty cool for a general purpose tool kit, plumber's kit. Nice big pair too, 300mm. Another pair of long end nippers, another pair of snips, narrow head. These are the ones that didn't sell. So there we are, and that's a bent nose player. So we've got a bunch more Knipex stuff. I need to get that Knipex box now. I'm going to search up the price of everything and list it all out at the end, but out of interest, how much does this flipping beastie thing go for? That is $89.99. 2 of them, that is amazing, 90 quid. And then the small one, 63. They're Amazon prices. Flipping awesome. 5 of those, £63 each. We have definitely won out on the Knipex stuff. The box system's great, but there's some holes in it. I'm gonna have to condense it down a little bit into boxes. That one is overflowing, but I've run out of the big boxes. But at least we are all grouped together, which is better than not grouped together. So that can go there. We'll go for this one in the middle. This is a good box to find. Flex. And when it's got green, I'm pretty sure that is the American stuff. Because in the UK, all of the Flex packaging that we've seen, because Flex have sent us some things, have all got red, and everything I picked up from America was all like this lime green. So that is a battery holder for the stack pack, which I know you can't get in the UK. So that's pretty cool. That's an empty box. That is the cable wrap, which you can get in the UK. I've already got one of those. That is another cable wrap. Then we've got the level holder, which you can also get in the UK, but that's pretty cool. And then they're the rails. So we've actually got the short rails that go on the side. There's 2 of those. And then there's a long rail, which you don't get in the UK. And I couldn't find that in America, to be fair, either. And what else have we got? 31-piece bit kit with some drill bits as well. 3-piece auger set. That's a pretty cool one. That's a heavy one. Impact nut spinner set, 45-piece. And then another drill bit kit. And that's pretty much it. There's a few other little corner noggins for the stack pack. It feels like that's like a box of samples. Just single of that, single of that. Get rid of another box. We've recently filmed a Flex stack pack video coming very soon. Do you want to see that? Let me know in the comments if you're excited to see all the accessories on the Flex stack pack. And if you like toolbox reviews, you can love What Toolbox. You can go and click up there. That's my second channel. And that's all of our toolbox reviews in one place at What Toolbox. Right, 3 boxes left. I think we go for this one in the middle. This old mystery box. And this thing is stuffed with what looks to be Vessel. So top of the box, there's a Vessel pouch. It's got a picture of a tape measure and a phone in the side, so it's just like a general pouch for your belt. And then I might have to tip this one out because you can see it's all small stuff. So that is a pretty jammed box. This one definitely needs a plastic tub. So I can see straight off the back loads of these VDE Vessel screwdrivers, all the red and yellow ones. It's quite ergonomic. It doesn't look as ergonomic as like a traditional, like a Weir screwdriver, but actually that you can grip that really well. It just feels quite comfortable. So let's get all of the VDE ones out. Try and slim this pile down a little bit. Straight away I'm noticing there's not very many flat ones, because all of these red and yellow ones are all Phillips or PZ2. Couple of flathead ones. Got some bit kits and a pair of pliers. That's cool. Marvel, made in Japan, do not cut. They're pretty cool. I've seen some Japanese pliers before, but by the brand Engineer, so I've not seen this one. That's one country I'd love to go to, Japan, and see what cool tools they've got, because every time I've come across a Japanese made tool, I've thought that's really good quality, that's really nice. So I think what we might have to do, this is a very, very random box, and I've already spotted a couple of Quirky tools. I think I might have to do a dedicated made in Japan video. So all the Japanese stuff I'll chuck in a separate box, and we can go through all of these in more detail.
That's in Japan!
Japan?
Right, we're on to the final two. I'll go for this one. I mean, that box there, I've seen a little bit of what's in that one, so we'll go for the last mystery box. Another box of nappies. This one's, what's this on the side? Shark Garage Tool Club. That's cool, isn't it? So, part of the Shark Garage Tool Club. Shipped to Leicester, to the shop, shipper's name Shark Garage. Right, what's in it? This is the absolute jackpot box. You've got to trust a nappy box for the best stuff. Save the best till last, absolutely. All of the VDE insulated Knipex. This is my favourite stuff from Knipex. And there's a whole ruck of different stuff I can see already. That's a cool one. Cable shears. Well, they're one of the most expensive tools. I'd probably say that's like 50 quid. Maybe I'll have to look them up. I've got a few long nose pliers, loads of snips, long nose pliers, snips, long nose, snips. I can see a few different types of snips here. We've got a few of the high leverage ones, a few of the normal straight snips, 24 Knipex insulated tools, plus this little pair of long nose plastic pliers. They're like for super high voltage stuff they are, and they're fully plastic but still really good quality. That has got to be my favourite box, because I flipping love this VDE stuff. This is where it all started for me. Really good German quality Knipex tools, buying one pair and then waiting for your next pay packet to get another one and building up your collection. That is pretty amazing. Whoa, I haven't even got any boxes left. That is going over there. Let's have a look at the last box. Now I've seen Pika poking out the top. I've also seen Sharpie. We've got tips for the Pika, another box I think we need to tip out. So I'm pretty sure this would have come in some sort of countertop display, because there's loads of different types here. There's Perma Ink Deep Hole Marker, a couple of those. There's some that are in packets, but not as many in packets, plus loads of chunky Sharpies. They're a bit easier to pick out and start with. That's pretty cool, I like that. This is like for marking concrete and stuff. It's got like a little 4-prong clamp, so you press that down, it unclamps, you can move it out, and then it puts a handle. It's basically a crayon handle, which is pretty cool. That comes in a kit. It's only one of those. What else have we got? Loads of markers. That's pretty cool. Visor, Pika Visor. I've not seen that before. Permanent crayon, long life industrial marker. That's a new one on me. I've not seen that before. That is the Pika Visor. Right, so I think now I've gone through all the boxes. I've got a pretty good idea what's here. I need to inventorize it though, go through all the items, price it all up. I've paid £1,800 total for all this, which now feels like an absolute bargain. I have to say, when I was putting all the boxes in the van for 1,800 quid, when that left the account, it could have been a stinker. But I think we've done very, very well out of this. So let me get it all counted up. Let me get the value on it. £1,800 spend. Get your guesses down below. What do you think all of this is worth? Time to do some admin.
You love math. Crunch the numbers on that.
So there we go. That is everything laid out, sorted, organised, and I've even price checked a whole bunch of it. This bundle has been pretty overwhelming, to be fair, and there's been some massive surprises. As I've been tipping boxes out and getting into the bottom of them, there's been a few little gems hidden in the bottom, and you can see I've got it all filled out the back here too. Loads and loads of amazing stuff. The highlights have to be the Knipex tools. I think these things just keep going on and on and on. And as I was price checking, some of these are worth about 25-30 quid, like a pair of snipe nose pliers, and then something that might look quite similar in the box, cable shear, £56. So that was pretty mental. I've gone through and price checked, where basically until I was knackered. Until I was like, I need to just show you guys where I'm up to, because there's so many small bits and bobs, it's hard to find some prices. But I went through all the Knipex individually, took all the part numbers, listed them all out. Some of the items I've got 5 of the same, so that was okay, but a lot of them are just singles, and I've priced them off the lowest on Google. So the cheapest one is the price I've gone for. So I've priced up all the Knipex and all the Milwaukee items, including all the fastback knives. There was a lot of those. We've gone through all the Tough Built, all of the bulk soap here, all of the vessel. We're at £6,276 and a penny. And I've not done any of the loose stuff. So I've not done any of the Pika. I've not done any of the vessel. I've forgotten. there's a box full of Japanese made vessel individual hand tools, but I'm going to keep these to one side because I think we need to do a made in Japan tool video, and I think there's a few little belters in here I'm going to save for that. So full box of vessel. I'm going to go through some of my highlights on the table in a second, but I haven't included the flex in the price or the Makita. I mean, the drill from Japan's 100 quid, 40 volt light, not sure what that is. These are knee pads, Milwaukee knee pads, not even available in the UK, these. So when I was price checking those, it's anyone's guess, like $60, $70 in the US, but they're over here in the UK, they're worth more, but I've not put them on the list. The Apex Crescent kit, bit kit, all the individual drill bits, it just goes on and on and on this. So I think we can comfortably say we are well clear of £10,000 worth of tools on the table, and I'm pricing everything low at that. So this is pretty incredible. Now I'm excited to tell you that all these tools will be available to you guys starting at £1. But before I tell you how you get those, let me show you a few of my favorite tools that have turned up. So starting strong, I think these really do add a big chunk of value. They're about £60 each. These are called the Knipex Tubix Quick Lot. So this goes from 6mm to 35mm. Automatic pipe cutters. You just go round and round and round, copper pipe, and you can cut it. So they are amazing. 5 of those at about £60–65 each is pretty incredible. And then we've got the next size up. This is the Tubix XL. This is about 90 quid, and I've got 2 of those in the bundle, which is pretty mental. The VDE insulated tools are amazing. I've got some of these myself already in a Knipex drawer. You can see right here, I've got all my Knipex stuff. So this stuff is some very modern Knipex tools. All the end nippers are pretty amazing. These were quite good because there was 5 of each. A couple of other highlights for me. It was amazing to see the scraper utility knives, and obviously this little gem led me to this treasure trove. Another highlight has got to be the Fiskars Pro drywaller's knife. I only found one of these recently in Leroy Merlin in Barcelona, I think it was. Fiskars drywalling knife. Now Fiskars is like a gardening brand, or at least I thought it was, but they have some great utility knives, and this one is pretty exceptional. So it's your classic kind of sturdy utility blade. The blade pops out as normal. You've got some blade storage back here, but the best thing is you've got a pad saw built in. I think that is a genuinely good multi-tool. You don't get many utility blades with additional functions that are as good as that, I think. So that was amazing. There was 3 of those. Pretty cool to see some Bosch Professional tools in there. There was only one item. It was a little torpedo level, but I've got a full range of Bosch Professional tools, and they're all fantastic. So pleased to see a bit of Bosch Professional. Something else that was nice to see is the Crescent long nose pliers, because I've already got a set of these. I picked up a pair of these in America, in Home Depot. I love Crescent, lifetime warranty, classic American brand. And to have a pair of those brand new in the little bundle was great. In the Milwaukee stuff, we ended up with 3 10-inch pin nailers, which were pretty cool. And then absolutely rooks. There's like 21 of the Milwaukee fastback knives. Some of them with a screwdriver, some of them with the Hawk bill blade. So they're pretty cool. Another little shout out, which we got a load of, were these Surly soaps. This is something I've not seen before. Essentially, it's a soap bar with a bristly brush on one side and then a nail cleaner on the other side. And you've got 3 different types: mild, medium, and then probably the most common one, which is the aggressive one for really getting the oil out your hands. They were pretty cool. From a quick search online, they're about 4 or 5 quid for one, and we've got boxes and boxes of that stuff. And then a final little thing I was quite pleased to get were the Milwaukee ceramic mugs. They're big old chunky mugs, these, and I couldn't find them anywhere online, so goodness knows what to price them. This is like a laser engraved logo. It's not printed. Nice big brew you'll get in that, so I'm pretty happy with those. And then a final one, and it was probably the best winner for me, is these Vessel 31-piece impact bit drivers kits, because the fact that I got 46 of them was pretty exciting, but also just how good they are. These are Japanese made bit sets, but also the kit's just quite nice. It's a solid plastic housing, and you can access all of the 31 bits. You've got a bit holder too. It's just a really nice solid little bit kit, that made in Japan, something a bit special, and I got 46 of them, which is amazing. So I think that is the perfect item for this video's giveaway. So if you want a Vessel 31-piece impact bit kit, and not just that, I think we also include a set of the Surly soaps, because I think everyone can benefit from a really good abrasive soap, and having the medium, mild, and aggressive to kick you off, and a Vessel bit kit, I think is a great little bundle. And if you want one of these bundles, it's dead simple. All you've got to do is subscribe to the channel, go down below this video and drop a comment. But this time you've got to include your Whatnot handle. Click the link, head over to Whatnot, claim your £10 credit. Once you've done that, you'll get your username. Drop your username down below this video and you'll be entered into the giveaway for the little bundle. And then we draw the winners out over on the Shadow Foam channel. You can click up here, go and check that out, and you can see all of the previous giveaway winners, all of the previous draws we've done, and that's where we'll be posting the winner for this little bundle. So make sure you get involved, drop your Whatnot handle. That is all of the tools, and that is all of the best bits, I would say. So by now, you might all be asking, what am I going to be doing with over 10K's worth of super high quality, really good tools, and such a huge mix? What do you do with all of this? Well, I'm going to be selling it in a tool auction on Monday at 8 PM, and everything starts at £1. It's pretty exciting stuff. I love an auction. I've done loads of different auctions myself in the past, and there's nothing like the thrill and the buzz of winning winning something and getting a bargain, getting a steal. This is an auction like nothing you've ever seen before. It's on Whatnot, and the auctions are 20 seconds. So literally, I'll be holding up a tool, you'll have 20 seconds to bid on it, and whatever it sells for, it's getting shipped out to you. Wherever you are in the world, it's an international auction, and everything starts at £1. So you can head over to Whatnot, use the referral link, and that'll give you a £10 credit, which you can get a lot of tools on this table for 10 quid. So you can spend it on my auction, or you can spend it on one of the many channels on Whatnot, because it's not just tools on there. There's also collectibles, coins, Lego, Pokemon cards. It's a pretty cool platform with a huge array of stuff. So hopefully see you there on Monday at 8 p.m. Make sure you bookmark the show so you don't miss out, because it is going to move very quick. It's kicking off at 8 p.m. and we're going to have hundreds of items for sale. It's not just one or two. There's going to be probably 150 tools off this table on that show, and you're not going to want to miss out because it's going to move very quick. So head over to Whatnot, get your account set up, get your tenner, drop your username below so you can be entered into the giveaway. Thanks for watching the video, exciting things to come, and I'll see you over on Whatnot.